Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, was that really just a coincidence, or was it something more? Think about it. A single message appears on your screen at the exact second your heart aches for direction, disguised as just another video in your endless feed. Out of millions of possible clicks, you landed here. That is not random chance. You've arrived at a rare intersection, where intention meets infinite intelligence, where life whispers instead of shouting. Not every tap or scroll is meaningless. Some are invitations, subtle doors the universe quietly leaves ajar, waiting for the moment you're finally ready to step through. And you just did. Something inside you already knows this. Your heartbeat knows. Your breath knows. The deeper part of you, the one that has silently observed every choice you've ever made, recognizes this shift. Even if your mind hasn't caught up yet, your spirit has. But before you fully understand why you were drawn here, pause and notice this. You are standing in a moment where chance ends and intention begins. This isn't an algorithm choice, it's a field choice. The universe, not your feed, brought you here, and that single difference changes everything about how you hear the next words. Consider this like a secret summons delivered in plain clothes, a perfect alignment between your frequency and a message designed to meet you right here, right now. Time doesn't stop at this intersection. Whether you're steering with clarity or drifting on autopilot, every micro-choice is stacking, like stones dropping into an endless lake. Each thought, breath, glance, and click creates ripples that expand forward. One current carries you into courage and expansion. Another drifts you back into comfort and quiet erosion. And here's the truth. The universe doesn't shout at crossroads. It arranges whispers. You'll notice them when your chest softens, when your attention sharpens, when something inside quietly urges you to stay. But perfection tempts you to wait. Readiness pretends to be noble. And yet, life doesn't reward the ones who wait for perfect certainty. The path belongs to those willing to move at 70% clarity, while others demand 90% and miss their opening. Momentum is the language the universe responds to fastest. Action compounds, but so does hesitation. Every hour you advance, the entire field reorganizes around your decision. Every hour you hesitate, the old patterns dig in deeper. Noise will try to pull you back. Notifications, habits, the mental autopilot that demands nothing but quietly costs you everything. Right now, though, you are in a living window where the signal is louder than the static. Count it down if you must. 5, 3, 2, 1, and step. Not a reckless leap, a truthful one, because even the smallest motion declares to life, I'm available. And life answers availability like iron to a magnet. So remember, what makes this a crossroads isn't the page you're on, it's the posture you choose. Treat this as just another piece of content, and it dissolves back into the scroll. Treat it as a calling, and the next sequence begins assembling in your favor. Remember the guiding truth behind this entire journey. The algorithm didn't bring you here. The universe did. Let that shape the way you see everything that follows. Then, take the next honest step. You remember what we uncovered before. The algorithm didn't bring you here, the universe did. And once you take even the smallest step forward, something remarkable happens. The road you couldn't see before begins to light up, one quiet marker at a time. But as soon as you move past the crossroads, almost immediately a familiar shadow emerges. That inner voice, the one that has kept you circling the same ground for years, returns. It doesn't scream. It doesn't threaten. Instead, it speaks in your own tone, wrapped in your own reasoning, whispering words it knows you'll believe. You're not ready yet. Think it through. Wait until the right time. On the surface, it sounds harmless, even wise. But if the algorithm didn't bring you here, if the universe did, then the very fact that you've arrived in this moment means you are already ready enough. That voice isn't true guidance. It's interference. It was built long before today, pieced together from the debris of past disappointments, rejections, and the cautious limits handed to you by others. Every time someone told you, be realistic. Every time your effort was met with silence or laughter, another brick was added to its walls. So over time, that voice stopped being a protector and became a warden, keeping you locked inside the familiar, disguising fear as safety. And here's the truth. That voice is deeply invested in keeping you exactly where you are. Why? Because to the mind trained to avoid risk, the unknown feels dangerous. But your very presence here proves you've already bypassed that voice once. The universe orchestrated this exact alignment between your awareness and these words, and you chose to stay instead of scroll. That's no small thing. That's evidence you can override hesitation. Still, the voice will return. It always does. Soft, persistent, deceptively reasonable. It will try to convince you that this is just another motivational clip, that nothing in your life will actually change. It will point to your history as proof, forgetting that history holds no power over a choice made right now. When you begin to see that this critic is not your higher wisdom but outdated programming, its power starts to fade. You recognize it for what it truly is, fear dressed up as logic. And in that moment of clarity, the choice sharpens before you. Will you keep obeying the voice that traps you in loops? Or will you step into the new reality the universe is offering right now? Because the fact that you are hearing these words in this exact instant is not random. It's an intervention. A chance to finally stop confusing fear with truth. And here's what becomes even clearer. Fear rarely shows its real face. It's far too clever for that. Instead, it dresses itself in the appearance of maturity, reason, and responsible planning. It will hand you arguments that sound protective. Think about the risks. Wait for the timing to be better. Gather more knowledge first. But these suggestions are not wisdom. They are chains disguised as advice. They are crafted to hold you back, to keep you from stepping into the unknown space where transformation is waiting. The people who reshape their lives, and sometimes even the world, understand a secret. Confidence is never the fuel for action. It is the result of action. No one who has ever built something meaningful began with certainty. They moved forward while still unsure, learning, adapting, and becoming stronger in motion. Every master you admire once stood exactly where you stand now, a beginner, unpolished, uncertain, but willing to look imperfect in pursuit of something greater. Action brought them clarity. Movement built their skill. And courage. It didn't arrive before the leap. It came only after they jumped. You already hold the raw materials for your next chapter. Not extra credentials. Not more resources. Not the approval of anyone else. What you need is buried beneath years of conditioning, a deeper self that only emerges when you stop shrinking, just to fit inside the comfort zones of others. This self has shown up before. Think back to the moments of adversity, the times when giving up was an option, but you chose not to. That was no accident. That was the part of you that survived what should have broken you, the part that found strength when the surface version of yourself felt completely empty. Living in fear is a defensive posture. It keeps you clinging to what you already have instead of creating what you truly desire. But living in alignment with purpose? That's offensive. It's active, intentional, a bold shaping of reality. It's the decision that meaning, growth, and contribution are worth walking through discomfort for. You have already survived storms you thought you wouldn't. That survival is proof, not just of resilience, but of untapped power. And power doesn't wait for the perfect conditions before it acts. Your presence here isn't random. It's not luck. It's evidence of readiness. The same force that aligned this message with you is the same force that placed within you the instincts, abilities, and perspectives you need for what lies ahead. Even if your mind can't yet see the full picture, you are equipped. And the very moment you choose to trust that truth over the quiet lies of fear, something begins to shift. The next level of your life starts to take shape. Because when the reality of your own power settles in, thought alone is no longer enough. Reflection without movement is just potential energy. It changes nothing until it translates into action. This is the threshold where many turn back. Not because they lack vision, but because stepping forward requires leaving behind the familiar. Yet every transformation, every step into a higher path begins with one single deliberate choice made in the present. Imagine your life as a set of diverging timelines. One continues exactly as it has, repeating the same patterns, carrying the same limitations, leaving the same desires unanswered. The other begins the moment you decide to act differently, even in the smallest way. You cannot walk both. Choosing one means closing the other. And that choice is made not tomorrow, not when more signs arrive, not when every question has been answered, but now. The field responds to decisions in motion, not intentions gathering dust on a shelf. The future version of you already exists in potential form. That version will either look back with gratitude for the courage you showed today or carry the weight of regret for not seizing the moment. And remember this, regret doesn't strike like lightning. It creeps in quietly, accumulating with every postponed action. The smallest hesitation can ripple into years of stillness. Remember this, even the smallest step can ignite an entirely new trajectory. The size of the move matters far less than the fact that it is taken at all. Clarity is never the prerequisite. It is the reward for beginning. Think of it like walking through heavy fog. You can only see a few feet ahead, and yet as soon as you move, more of the path reveals itself. Stand still and the road remains hidden. Move forward and life responds. It works the same way at night while driving. Your headlights only stretch a short distance into the darkness, but that's all you need to reach your destination. If you insist on waiting until the entire road is visible, you'll never leave the driveway. Right now, that same force that aligned this exact message with you is holding the door open. But doors don't stay open forever. Every moment you hesitate, the pull of the old reality grows stronger, pulling you back into the patterns you've been trying to escape. But act while the opening is alive, and you step into a position where new people, fresh ideas, and unexpected opportunities can actually find you. This isn't about rushing blindly. It's about recognizing that the moment you are standing in carries far more power than it appears, and it is here for a reason. You've reached the edge of a decision, and the timing is no accident. Out of the endless flood of noise, distraction, and content, this message reached you at the exact moment your awareness was ready enough to hear it. That is not chance. That is alignment. The reason these words feel different, the weight in them, the strange sense of recognition you can't quite explain, is because this isn't just information. It is a direct response to a signal you've been sending. Whether consciously or unconsciously, a signal for change, for clarity, for direction. Messages like this don't appear when you're closed off, distracted, or numbed by autopilot. They arrive only when something inside has already begun to shift. When your questions grow louder than your excuses. When your longing for more outweighs your comfort with the same. That longing is the signal, and the universe has answered it in a language it knows you would notice. Often, these openings disguise themselves as something small, just a thought, just a conversation, just a video. But they are keys, and keys never arrive unless there is a door waiting to be opened. The pull you feel right now, the uncanny timing that feels almost suspiciously perfect, is the handle already waiting in your hand. But windows like this don't remain open forever. Act now, and the path reshapes itself around your decision. New circumstances, new people, and new opportunities will emerge that you couldn't have predicted. Wait, and the moment dissolves back into the noise, circling around again years later when alignment finally returns. The very fact that you are here proves that the conditions, both within you and around you, are perfectly aligned for this next step. This is not about chasing a perfect sign. This is the sign, right here, right now. The question is whether you'll step through before the opening closes. You have not been brought to this point by accident, not by random scrolling, not by a calculated feed, but by a deeper current, arranging these exact words at the exact moment you were able to receive them. The algorithm didn't bring you here. The universe did. And that distinction carries weight. Every sentence you've absorbed, every pause you've taken, every moment you felt your focus sharpen, none of it was random. It has been part of a quiet alignment designed to remind you of your own power to choose. The moment you are in now is a bridge between awareness and action. Cross it, and the life you felt calling to you begins to take form. Step back, and the window closes until alignment finds you again. The next chapter of your life will not be written by waiting for conditions to improve or for fear to finally disappear. It will be written by the decisions you make in this very space between knowing and doing. You already have what you need, the awareness, the readiness, the alignment, and the universe has confirmed it by bringing you here. All that remains is what you will choose to do with what has been placed in your hands. So don't treat this as a random piece of content you happen to stumble upon. Treat it for what it truly is, a turning point you were meant to reach. Your time is now. Your moment is here, and the choice you make next will echo far beyond today.